All right, so we're back, and we really got to think through how this style compiler actually is going to work. Um, we don't have to solve everything, but really, there's things that I've even thought of that we need to figure out how to handle states, and then we also need to figure out. We need to figure out how to handle states. We need to figure out how to handle keyframes animations. Part of the goal of this project is to make a UI framework that is actually that improves on usability. That's like the main reason I wanted this. I want something that I have an idea in my head of how something should look. Maybe I make it in Photoshop, whatever. Maybe you would make it in Figma. I don't know. I don't really believe in Figma, but you know what I mean? That's a bad take. You know what I mean? That's a bad 2026 take. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like I mean, I don't even do mockups, right? Like I just like write the code preferably. I just feel like whatever. I'm getting sidetracked. The point is like I want this to be like easy to use. And part of it is like animations, keyframing, that should be like a first class citizen. And even if we don't implement this right now, which I'm not really advocating for because we should write styles first. And then we should add animations. And the point is because animations are something that like it's gonna be we should visually test those, but also that's gonna like there's gonna be a fair amount of work like in a shader or like in the actual like rendering pipeline to like support keyframes and animations as well. But it's something that I want to be thinking about how we might do something like this. What I do want to consider now is how do we handle states. So part of figuring out states is like, for example, like a button, like, I mean, literally none of these buttons are actually doing it. Okay, C line, okay, there it is, right? Like this button, right? You press onto it. Why is there a divider then? Okay, whatever. You like press onto it. If it's not, there's some sort of like default like. I mean, I guess not. I mean, you would think. Like, what happens? What about like Mac OS stuff? We go to like settings. I guess this like let's go to like system preferences. Like, I just want like a normal button. Okay, here's a button, right? You press on it, it does something, right? Like that's active. Like active, not active. Active, not active. There's no hover, but active, not active. And so like the question is like I want to have a reasonable default for that. And the reasonable default is either make your hover state slightly here's the other it's like I actually don't know if you need a reasonable default. Like I don't know if it's I mean just the fact that I had to like all these buttons act kind of differently. Like it seems like there's like an active state, but there's not a hover state. Hover, but not an active state. Like hover, but none of these actually have an active state. Hover, not an active. It's only like here that you have. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like sorry, I'm all over the place. I guess what I'm trying to say is like I was thinking earlier like we should have like a default way to handle active, but honestly, I don't think so. I think you write that into your theme, and if you want to write custom things, then you're gonna have to like do that. Okay. So now let's think about rendering. So if we are emitting for each element, let's just say for boxes, if we emit a for each element, for each box element, emit a box style for normal, box style for hover, box style for active. So we do, man, this is complex, right? Okay, let's keep thinking about it, right? I'm getting caught up. Okay, so for each box element, we emit these three styles. Now, what about stuff like selected and hovered? Well, what do we do, right? So like, how would we specify that? Selected, or not selected and hovered, selected and focused. So, I'm sorry, there's like a siren. I don't know if you can hear it. It's just like, you know, have some. Okay. The biggest choice. Okay. So for each box element, we've got box style for normal, hover, active. If we want something like stuff like selected and focused are what we'll say are like widget states. So you would write something like for selected or focused, you probably write something like box, you know, let's say auto selected equals false, but it doesn't matter what the value is because we're not going to actually run this code. We have a quad, we have layout, and then we have a style that we're gonna write like selected background color, boom, otherwise background color tie RGB 50 50 50. Okay. I don't know why that. What is happening here? Oh, that has to be closed. Okay. So selected, boom, boom. This works, right? We close the background, we close style, we take that away, and okay. So like, sorry, my Clang format, and it's just like, I just like really wish I could put parentheses on new lines. Whatever. Okay. So okay. Sorry, another ambulance. So selected. So this is how and so this would run. So we like update our state, like state gets updated. Relay out the view, and then recreate buffer. Okay, so these concepts don't exist. Basically, it doesn't, like, we could say something like here in our like widget or you know whatever, we're saying, okay, if it's selected, this is the style. That like, okay, cool, but that doesn't apply here because we're still emitting a normal style, a hover style, and an active style. And so the point of maintaining, of having all these three styles in memory is so that we don't have to do any logic when we render. Because if you think about it, rendering is the thing, like, yeah, we lay out every now and then. I mean, there'll be plenty of like layouts, but like we're gonna lay out every now and then comparatively to like how often we're rendering, which is gonna be every single frame. So we're gonna be reading from this buffer every single frame. The issue is like, this is like the list of styles, and it could grow. You could say, okay, not everything needs all of these styles. Sure, but like it kind of does. Like, just because you don't want to specify it doesn't mean that there's not implicitly a value there. Like, I just don't see the downside though is that I'm gonna ask chat, and I know I'm telling you right now, I know for a fact the answer is gonna piss me off. I know, but we're gonna do it anyways. So I'm just gonna say this is box style. Okay. I'm writing a style compiler that compiles a buffer of style operations, set VG color, set border color, etc. into a std vector of box style. Okay. This is for my UI framework. It should know about it, hopefully. I want to be able to wait, as I'm typing this out, well, like, I'm thinking, like, do we update the style buffer? Like, that actually, hold on. That actually might be the move. That actually makes me a little bit happier. So, in the, I think we just threw it in context because we don't have a good place for it yet. Here, well, anytime I mean, we could do something like this, like auto change buffer, or may remove this. I'm gonna say std vector. What is it? I guess like std size t. Chain state. Well, we should know when we're changing the state, right? Because then we have... Do we have like event? Oh yeah, we have event. Okay, handle events. This might be the wrong loop because this is technically this stuff above it isn't necessarily event handling. Okay, so we probably want like a different function with this stuff. Or we probably don't want this function called handle events. We probably want this inside of some handle event. This is just organizational stuff. But I'm just thinking here we know that an element has changed state. We can update the value in the style buffer accordingly. So instead of iterating over a list where we're skipping, so originally it was like, okay, we're just gonna read the state and then we're gonna read from active or hovered or normal, like which entry, like it'll be like, you know, index +1, index +2, whatever. Okay, and your style buffer would be like, you know, element count times 3. The issue with that is that it's just like most of the time your data is further apart than the actual size of the block of data that you actually need to read. So it's just like I mean, it feels foolish, right? Like if we're optimizing for rendering, we want it as tightly packed as possible. But I think here's how we do it. Here's how we actually achieve that, is by saying this is the point where we know the element has changed state. We can update the value in the style buffer accordingly. Okay. Because here's the yeah, the resolved style, like you could have your state, you know, like you could have your state be active and hovered. Well, your state has to be active and hovered. Well, can you actually let's go with C-line's not a good example because like something like this, it's like I don't know, why can't I, whatever. I don't know. It feels like sometimes, like, is it only when you can drag things do things get like an active state? But like these have active states, right? No. No, it just has like a selected state. Okay. This has an see, these have active states. That's active. I just think, okay. This, I really hope this is not limiting in the future. And like honestly, like I don't know, it's pretty cool. Like I hate to be like one of these guys, but like, yeah, I mean, if you get this far in the video and you have an idea, like please let me know in the comments below. You know what I mean? I got like 2 or 3 comments so far. It's pretty exciting. Literally, like I'm literally making these videos to hold myself accountable and to like get better about talking about like my process and to just be like, realistically, how much time am I spending on this? Because like I really don't work on this outside of recording. And it's also like, you know, I'll write code and then I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna watch like TV or YouTube in the background, or like I'm gonna listen to music, and then I just like get completely sidetracked. And it's like, no. Like when I'm doing this, it's like I'm focused. Like even if I get sidetracked, I'm like talking about code at least. Anyways, I got sidetracked. The point is, I think we can categorically say that you are either active or hovered or normal. There's no, like, you can't be active and you can't be active and normal. So the way that it works is that you have to have, we're gonna end up see if we're gonna compile these. I mean, are we gonna like recalculate? I think we just have to make a decision. I think we just have to make a decision at this point. What are the options? Well, we either let's write it out to chat. Let's write it out to chat and see what chat says. We need to support normal, active, and hovered based on the pseudo classes in CSS. Ignore no focused or selected necessary. Something can, so basically our style buffer allows us to specify only the styles that change based on the parent element. Additionally, active and hovered states inherit from normal unless otherwise specified styles. I'm trying to optimize for the render loop, for the rendering of the UI. Trying to optimize for that. The solutions I am stuck between are having a, oh my god, it's like I don't even see the ice cream truck. I think it's just literally someone with a boombox outside of my speaker who knows that I'm trying to make a YouTube video, who is just like blasting the ice cream song. I mean, it's just like, it's like, this is how you lose respect for people. You know what I mean? Like, this is, like, you know what I mean? Okay. Here, we know that element has changed state. We can update the value in the style buffer accordingly. Oh wait, I'm typing out a prompt. The solutions I'm stuck between are having a vector of box styles where for each element there are 3 contiguous entries of a fully resolved style. Normal, hovered, and active for each state, and iterating and having some index on element handle that's, and oh wait, and in the render loop sending whatever style corresponds with the current state of the element specified by an int on element handle. And in the render loop, sending whatever style corresponds with the current state of the element specified by an int on element handle. To my shader, or having that same setup, but any time the state of an element changes, copy the style for the given state into another vector where there is only one style entry per element, and it is, or there's only one style entry per element, and it is the style that is current. This means that in the render loop we wouldn't care about states. The downside is more memory use because an extra buffer, and maybe the style buffer gets large. I'm actually not worried about copying that because we're doing it once. Like, let's see what it said. I really think this. Oh, I chose the opposite one. Okay, yeah. That's true. That's also true. Like, you could do like like me. I'm a dickhead. I would do like you know what I mean. If I read in the docs that like, oh, changing the state of something adds overhead, like I would be like you know what I mean. Okay, that no, because we're just okay. No, valid. I didn't think about like going back and forth. Okay, it's actually crazy how much memory we have. Like, you know what I mean? Like you do this, and then you go to like activity monitor, and you're just like, first of all, why does it take so much time to load? Like what is CLion doing that? Why is there rider.backend? Like, what? I haven't opened Rider in like months. Okay. Like, Warp's not even open. Oh wait, Warp is open. Okay. Google Chrome, you know what I mean? Like why are we taking up so much memory? Whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, you know what I mean? If I wrote these applications, it would be so, because I just feel like, are people not thinking about this? Do they just give up? I mean, clearly, you know what I mean? Like, I'm obviously like I care about this, and I feel like a lot of people do care about this, but like obviously, you know, maybe I care about it too much because like ultimately I don't have a job. You know, maybe I should focus more on deliverables. You know what I mean? Like maybe, you know what I mean? When it came down to be like, you know, let this guy go, let the other guy go, it's like, this guy talks too much about theoretical performance and shit. And it's like, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know what the, you know, allegedly, and it's all love. You know what I mean? So I think just, I mean, not to say do everything chat tells you to do, but I actually did think like, you know what I mean? If this adds overhead, if you're copying, like, come on, and what if like, yeah, let's okay, I'm gonna do it the original way. Okay, all right. I actually think I have this together. I know it's been almost 30 minutes of like literally not writing a single line of code. So I'm going to try to bang this out. I think I have it all in my head. Active and hover. You can't be active without being hover. There's no default anything. You have to specify all of these styles. Maybe we have themes that provide nice defaults. Maybe that's what it goes with. Okay. All right. We can do that. We can work with that. Okay. All right. So we know We should know how many. How do we do this? Okay. So we have our like stack thing. Actually, you know what we might actually have to do? We actually might have to let's say we can read a style type box style text style text style. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We have box style text style. We're gonna add something to our step. So when we create a box, we're gonna say begin style, and begin style again, I don't know why it's taking us to the wrong spot. We're gonna say style and then style type. And we're gonna say writer dot style buffer dot writer dot, because that's not redundant. Write type. Wham bam. Okay, the Draco wham bam. All right, that's easy. Easy money. And then we'll say style type box style. What does this do? Well, I'll tell you. All this does I was just thinking about some API stuff. All this does is say style type makes it so we can say like where we want to write. I mean, we need to know somewhat the type. Like we have a text style and then a style. So we could say, I mean, do we say something like this? Like we say like auto box style. I'm gonna call it, I don't want text to not be a first class. So I'm gonna say auto box style IDX equals 0, auto text style IDX equals 0. And these should be size T. So, oh man. All right. So if we get something like, we're updating the current style. For sure. Now we hit end. Now what we say is we want to copy, we want to say switch style type. Case box style, case text style. We want to say ctx.boxstyles that in place back ctx.boxstyles.back. That's not at all how that works. Auto box style, and then we should have like an easy way to just go from this to, I mean, we could do something like this, right? Auto get box style. I don't actually, So like this. Oh, I guess we could say like, oh, let's just say box. Boom. Struct text style. This might be dumb. Like, if you guys think this is dumb, like, actually, please let me know. Like, nicely, please. Or we could just, like, say, like, box style. Box. Text style. Text. And then cur style dot box dot text. Because we can set, like, I don't want to say, like, because you, like, let's say you have, like, an area, and you want to say text color is green for this area, right? Like, I don't want to have that have to be specified on a text object, right? Like, that's, like, it's inherited. So, I'll pay the overhead. How big is this? This is 72. Ah, yeesh. That's 52. Yeesh. That's 20. Yeesh. Okay. See, this is why constructors are stupid. That, okay, here's why stood vector should have a constructor where you specify the reserve. This is the only reason, is because I want to have an auto reserve. You know what I mean? This is so stupid. This is so stupid. Whatever. All in the name of usable API. I sound like a freaking OOP jabroni. I'm really trying not to be like cynical and annoying. You know what I mean? All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Struct style group is going to be a stood array style. All right, we could just say style normal, style hover, style active. Okay, so really the stack should be a style group. And then this should be because if we read set state, right? I mean, what we could do is we could say inline auto update current or update style, or maybe like fill style context ctx, and we're also going to take another argument, and we're going to take a style. And so this just becomes style. We can do this. op we're gonna have to read. OP is not equal to style op set state. Okay. Question is, does this actually help? Because we're probably going to want to do something like a do while. Like if we say fill style CTX and then we pass it might just be an array. Let's, for frick's sake, let's just do sed array style 3 styles. So fill style is going to be styles or this value doesn't matter right now. So while OP is not equal to style op.n auto style idx equals 0 ctx.stack.back styles 3 or not 3, sorry, style idx. Okay, so what does this do? Well, this goes, and then when this breaks, we should probably return OP. And we say like last read. Because we're gonna want to parse it out here. And there might be a better pattern for this. Or we could just say OP. So this is the last read. If the last read is so we want to say like if the last read operation is let's make our own style class. Let's say style state. And let's say normal, hover, active, and let's make a std un8t. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Let's comment that out, and then that's gonna cause havoc in a lot of places, and then we can bring it back because I like to look at my old code sometimes. Okay, so style buffer writer looks good. Style compiler is not gonna. Okay, so style, maybe API. Okay, set state, state, style, state, normal, style, state, hover, style, state, active. Okay. That looks so much better too. Look at that. That's the modern C++. CJ would be proud, you know what I mean? He'd be pissed off about the littlest things. I won war. No, I'm playing. I don't really care. I'm just listen. I'm just trying to be. I just want to write my code, and if someone thinks they could do it better, then I respect that because I'm writing this because I think I can do something else better. And you know what I mean? It's just like it's good for the program if people are writing code. So, you know what I mean? Good for the program. All right. I'm going down. And my mic is fucked up. I'm losing track. Okay. I'll wrap this up here and then I'll start another one because I want to like stand up for a little bit. Like I don't know if anybody needs a 2-hour video. Okay. Wow, this is cool. I used to have a thing. Let me get rid of this. Or I'll comment this out because that's kind of a useful thing to have on hand. Okay, where were we? We were somewhere in style buffer writer. No, we were in style compiler. If OP equals read, we want to read a style state static casted boom style index and then this could just be a true. Okay, I think that's a fly. If it's a wasp, I'm gonna freak out, but I don't think it is. Okay, so this should always be filling. Okay. Let's assume this works. If it doesn't work, I don't think we need that. If we do box style, we're gonna create one, and we're gonna say, what Clang format? So stupid. Okay, so box style. Dot. Oh, we could just do. Actually, wait. No, we don't actually need to create a variable here. We could literally just do. And we want to copy it. Well, it's not like moving is going to be any faster. We could say like for auto I equals 0, I is less than 2, plus I. Box styles dot in place back. So style type box style context box styles dot in place back. We're gonna in place back ctx dot. We could just say auto cur style. Just say that because we're gonna be just to like not call back over and over again, even though we're just styles I dot box text styles. Okay, this is pretty much there. The only thing is we should be we're doing that copy, but then we also want to say this, like, the thing is, if this is normal, we want to be setting it on everything. If, let's say do this. If style index equals 0, this is another situation where it's like, platform.hpp, but whatever. I mean, not whatever. Like there are things I don't know, but what I don't know is how to write this style system, and I feel like I'm learning it. So, you don't know a lot of things. I mean, I'm saying, royal you, we. Style index equals 0. Then style, then we just want to say, style group dot styles dot 1 equals okay. So I'll only do this copy. This loop should only really run 2-3 times. But actually, what we probably want is we want to say style index index plus 1. I don't know where that went, but whatever. That should always, it should happen here because we also want active to be by default what hovered is. So if we modify hovered, we want active to get all of those changes. Okay. There's probably a logic error in here. I just think the structured binding, structured bindings is so, I mean, it's not stupid, whatever. All right. I'm gonna throw it into chat and see what chat says. Also knowing that you know what I mean, like chat's training on this, and then it's gonna be able to write my UI library for me. And then whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to make money. I would rather I hope I go broke. Put me on. Wait. How does what do you think? This is how I generate my two lists. Okay, it's gonna think it's horrible. Oh, I actually think it's very CSS-esque, but without carrying any of the complexity into the render loop. The compiler does all the work at once, and rendering becomes grab the already resolved style. A stack copy is a nice idea. It's exactly what I do. Well, okay. That is a red flag. If what you do is exactly what chat would do, you know what I mean? Like, every child starts with a fully resolved copy of the parent style, and then you apply overrides. That makes inheritance easy, essentially free to resolve. Well, it's not free. You have a whatever. Fill style, returning the terminating opcode is clever. Yeah, because I'm not an idiot. Sorry, it's just like these things stood out. I thought these were going to be problems. I was expecting I got defensive, and now I'm defending the things that it likes. Okay, and now here I am. I'm actually defensive. Style index with the actual state. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. What the hell are you talking about? What in the actual hell is it talking about? The compiler has to remember that? That's literally the value. It's a cast. That's literally the value. Am I missing something? What do you mean it has to remember this? And what do you mean I immediately cast it to a No, James has to remember that. And James remembers that because James wrote the code, and I'm not going to write a toIndex function. No. Wait. Yeah. Yeah. Wait, where's my loop? Yeah, 0, 1, 2. Yep. All right, that was an element. That's an embarrassing. I should need Chad to fix that. Sorry. Oh, you would? What do you mean they're unassigned? Oh, they're unsigned. Bro. Wait, what? Isn't this the same thing? Oh. No, hold on. I'm gonna tell it it's wrong about that, but this actually might be a bug. But I don't. But really? But it wasn't a bug earlier. If J is less than or equal to. Is there something in constraint solver. Last LM depth. Wait, that's crazy. Why isn't that a bug? Is it because I'm running in debug? Whoa. I mean, yeah, but I didn't want to use a conditional. I'm going to do this one. Because, whoa, that's on me. I like, how did that not break in the constraints? Okay. I don't know. Okay. And then 7, what did it say? I probably split style group. For 7, I don't want to split it up because I think that a client should be able to specify text styles on a parent element that is a box, and it get propagated down. Cascaded style. Okay, see, this is the stupid. I mean, it's just completely forgot that I do that, but whatever. Well, no, it's not. It's not a cascaded style. This is like, whatever. Okay. Do we test? What are all these like? Shoot. Do we test? Do we write a test? Do I have like? Shit. Oh man. All right. Let's finish this off. I mean, I'm not gonna have time to You know what? I'm gonna stop. I might have to deal with some car stuff. I'm gonna come back and bring this thing home. I'm sorry. I thought Silas was gonna be one video. It's turning out to be like 20. So whatever. But you know what I'm saying? I'm still locked in. The most locked in. The biggest choice. Every single day, except for Sunday, because I was at the beach. You know what I'm saying? Yours truly.